Hello, I hope you're doing well. Today I'll be talking about Heaven Official's Blessing and sharing the first two volumes of the Vietnamese edition of the book. Heaven Official's Blessing is a Chinese BL novel by Mo Xiang Tongxiu, who also wrote The Master of Diabolism. I actually found out about this novel in a sort of roundabout way. Last fall, Funimation announced that they were going to host the donghua on their website, so I checked out the first couple episodes and I was absolutely captivated. To this day, I regularly go back and watch the last 5 minutes of episode 1 because it's so beautiful. But I digress. At the time, I was not familiar with how to buy web novels in Chinese, but I still wanted to support the author, and I found out that a publisher in Vietnam, Kampong Books, had just announced that they were printing the series. Honestly, it had felt like the stars aligned, so I found a group order online and ordered it. That was around December, and since then, thanks to Google Translate and some very helpful fans, I did figure out how to buy the novel digitally on Jinjiang Literature City, which is a web novel platform. And also since then, I have read the novel, and I'm so excited to share all of these goodies that came with the Vietnamese edition. No surprise, but nothing beats having a physical book in my hands. I also love the idea of bundling books with really nice merch. And does this mean I bought this all for the merch? It's possible. But Heaven Official's Blessing is seriously one of the most interesting, emotional, hilarious, and heartbreaking stories I have ever read. Everything centers around hualian, who was a former prince who ascended to godhood. At first, he was so cherished by his people and his worshippers, but somehow he was stripped of his role. 800 years later, he becomes a god again for the third time. Because of his shaky past, he's constantly ridiculed by his peers, even as he tries to live a normal life. Almost immediately, however, a mysterious ghost starts hanging around him, and so he follows hualian as he tries to gain new worshippers and tries to help his fellow gods. As the series progresses, we find out why he was stripped of his godhood in the first place, why this ghost is so attached to him, and how the tragedies of hualian's past are still on his heels now. The novel tackles so many complicated topics like fate and free will, sacrifice, revenge, a refugee crisis, loyalty to one's loved ones, and even the simple idea that just one act of kindness can change the course of someone's life. It's gory and ridiculous and heartbreaking and funny all at once. Maybe because it's that I've never read anything like this, but this book left such a strong impression on me. hualian is easily my new favorite comfort character. If you're at all interested, definitely buy the novel online. It was only around $10 to buy all 250-something chapters. Yeah, you cannot beat a price like that. Like I mentioned before, you can also watch the donghua on Funimation, and now you can also watch it on Netflix. The animation doesn't cover that much of the novel, but it's still such a well-made show that I think it's worth your time if you want to dip your toes and get a taste of the series. It's been a few months and I'm still processing and simmering in all of my feels. At the start of this video, so a few minutes ago really, I was wondering why I would broadcast that I bought books in a language that I don't understand. But I think I can safely say that I'm still really happy right now, and that's all that matters. In general, I also don't mind double dipping at all, especially for a series that clearly now has a dedicated place in my heart. These are also such beautiful books. And since studying languages is a hobby of mine, I may just have to add Vietnamese to my list. As always, thank you for indulging me when I make videos like this. I know it's probably much more interesting to hear me talk about manga, but danmei is also something I'm slowly becoming more passionate about. If you're also a fan of boys love, in any language really, I'd love to hear about any recommendations that you have. Please stay well, and I'll see you next time.